Hey friends, I want to tell you a story today, and a personal story about something that happened in my life in the past week or so, just the other day, that hopefully by the end it'll be meaningful to you. You see, we've been we've been doing our live stream masses, our daily masses anyway, from here in the house chapel, the Chapel of the 12 Apostles, for several weeks now. And there have been little things along the way that I've tweaked about how we approach that. Of course, we took a break from this chapel during the Easter octave, and even, of course, starting with the Easter Triduum, Holy Week. But anyway, the majority of them have been in here, and little things that I've tweaked along the way. And one of the things that was that came up early on in maybe the second week was that it helps people to log on more promptly to the live streams if I start the live stream a few minutes early, a few minutes before the mass actually starts. And so part of what I've wanted to do is, occasionally, that means that if you log on, you might see me finishing lighting the candles or whatnot, but that I didn't want to be going back and forth through that door. Not that there's anything secret back there, but just wanted to have that door already closed and didn't want to be going back and forth through there. But on the other side of that door is the closet where I keep my vestments. And so I had to, ideally that I would vest before I started the live stream. But then sometimes if I'm kind of running behind, I might not have vested. And so then I started bringing the vestments back here. And then, I had to find a spot to put them where they would be hopefully behind the camera so that you're not so that you have the benefit of looking towards the tabernacle and the cross and the sanctuary lamp to help you to use that as a time of prayer, like you would if you were waiting in church, that you would look forward to those visual images that turn our hearts and minds to Christ and not be distracted by whatever preparations are taking place. So that's something I've tried to do. And meanwhile, I've been kind of juggling with things back here. Don't know if you ever hear any of that, but kind of juggling with things back here. And I would sometimes hang the vestment hanger from the inside of a lamp, like from that rod, But then the vestments would be too heavy because I have another lamp on the other side. The vestments would be too heavy, so I'd have to wait till after I took the vestments off of the hanger and then hang them there and drape them over a chair. And so then I had to bring a chair in. And there was all this needless, in hindsight, shuffling of things and juggling of things. I just last week, just the other day, it occurred to me that, remember when I showed you around the chapel? I told you about how this curtain that enables me to close off the curtain so that I have a hallway, close off the chapel so that I have a hallway, that it has a rod, and that rod works perfect to hang the vestments from. It's so obvious. And it took me weeks here, and I'm happily laughing at myself that it took weeks, several weeks into this quarantine for this simple little tool that makes this one little part of my day, this one little part of my week so much simpler. That it took that much time for it to dawn on me. And when I did, I was like, it was right in front of me the whole time. Why did I never think of that? So what's my point in telling that story? Is that, as we kind of try and make the most of the reality of having some more weeks at least of this way of living, that maybe some of you have similar stories. Maybe you have your rod where you can hang your vestments story, your moment where you suddenly realized how you can, quote, do this better. And you feel like here we are several weeks in and you're just now figuring out how to make this work. Well, first of all, isn't it good news if every day we figure out not necessarily just how to make our lives easier, but how to make our current situation work better, how to thrive in the midst of our current situation? Isn't it good news if every day we learn a little more of how to make it work better? But maybe some of us feel that relatively late into the game that we're just now figuring out how to make this work. Maybe we're just now figuring out some practical things that help us find a better rhythm for our day. Maybe we're just now figuring out how to surrender to God. And the key is, of course, that it's not a trick that we figure out. It's a choice that we make, and that we allow Him to deepen our understanding of what it means to surrender to Him in our daily life. And it's okay if you don't fully know what that means, because I think we're all still figuring it out. I think we're all still figuring out what it means to let go and to let Him work in our lives, to let Him lead us. It's okay if we're still figuring it out. It's okay if we feel like we're just now starting to get it right. And it's okay if we still feel like we don't have it together at all right now. Because the Lord is teaching us how to surrender. He's teaching us how to trust Him. He's teaching us how to grow in humility and to allow Him to be at work in us. St. Paul says that it is by our weaknesses that His strength and His glory shines forth. And so it's okay to just be figuring it out now. It's okay to feel like you still don't have it figured out. And it's good news if several weeks in you feel like you're still learning new things. Let's be at peace with that. Let's trust in the Lord enough to be patient with ourselves and allow Him to continue to work in our lives. Because folks, He's not done yet. And that's very good news. Glory be to God. Amen.